We do that, Jeff. We still are very keen in the UK investment. We do, having said that, Wednesday is our 60th anniversary for KIO, our investment office here, the oldest sovereign wealth fund. And this is the only office for us here. So we're very keen, and we keep doing that. But of course, there is regulations, and and it tends to change based on financial and economical situations worldwide, and strategies are being done towards that. So it's not we're shying away, but
right. That's the point I'm really driving at here. It's not that you've fallen out of love with the UK. You still believe in Britain as an investment centre, and London in particular.
Definitely, Jeff. And we wrapped that with a state visit by His Highness the Emir, with the huge high-end investment private sector joining the delegation just to strike deals right and left.
You have a huge sovereign wealth fund. You can invest anywhere in the world. Where does Britain, in your mind, in your ranking, rate vis-a-vis the United States, Europe, Japan?
I would say it's in this, it's in top list, and I'm not in charge of the sovereign fund directly, but yet, yeah.
You think Britain's still playing in the Premier League?
Definitely, Jeff. Definitely. There's no doubt of that. There's no doubt of that.
Why do you think that Britain has retained the confidence of international investors? If you look at our numbers, our budget deficit is going up, and as a result, our debts are going up. It looks as though the Chancellor is going to have to take some really tough decisions, and yet Britain can still borrow at very, very low interest rates. Why is that?
Jeff, I think if you see the historical stability of the financial sector in UK, you would definitely be in UK in your investment planning strategy, geographically, and I think we are keen continuing doing that, and I don't see why we should shy away from that.
Now, clearly the UK and Kuwait have a warm relationship, but we can always do more, and one of the problems we have in this country is we simply don't export enough products. We're good at services, but less good at products. What trade should we be doing with Kuwait? Well,
due to that, we are here, a delegation headed by our head of state. And you're doing very well in Kuwait. I mean, your retail franchises, Debenhams, Next, Mothercare, Marks Spencer, Boots lately, they're doing very well.
Is that right? I mean, sadly, I've not had the pleasure of visiting Kuwait, but if I were to walk down the high street in Kuwait City, would I see all these famous British names?
Oh yes, definitely. And they're not only, they're dominating the market there, and vice versa here. Also in Kuwait, we do invest here, and we are now planning to continue and maintaining the relationship, the historic relationship between both nations, and one of the reasons is this visit also.
So Britain is always keen to attract inward investment. I can remember a time, when Kuwait had a chain of petrol stations in this country called Q8.
Kuwait, yes.
A play on words. That no longer exists. What are you looking to put your money into in Britain?
Well, I'll leave that to be announced maybe on Wednesday, on our anniversary, on the 60th anniversary.
But are we expecting big news, good news? We could do with some good news in this country.
We will be doing good news. I mean, it's, I won't say big or small, but we will continue to keep this, as you called it, the warm relationship between both countries and in all aspects, financial, diplomatic, and elsewhere. So definitely, yes.
And what about the Middle East? I've got to ask you this. From here in London, it looks clearly a very volatile and troubled region. What for you is the real danger point in the Middle East now? Where are your concerns most focused on?
Well, we'd like to see more stability. We'd like to see peace process going forward. We'd like to see...
When you say the peace process, you're talking about Israel and Palestine?
Yes, and when I say also, I would like to see more peace in Syria and going on. Kuwait, we think we don't see ourselves among those bubbling countries.
No, you're not troubled, but of course you have a history of being invaded. We can all remember Iraq in the early 90s. Your next door neighbour now is Iran. Does that bother you?
No, we have a good relationship with our neighbours, and we think we're working hard to, and we see also from their end that we are going towards a strong relationship with the neighbours, all sides.
And finally, what about the oil price? As I said in my introduction, you still sit on something like 9% of the world's oil reserves. Oil still above $100 a barrel. Is that the new normal? Do you ever see it going back to those very low levels of the late 90s? I can remember, when was it, 98, 99, it hit $10 a barrel.
You know, if you would have asked my colleague in oil minister, then he would probably give you a more specific answer. I would tell you, I think it looks like we believe that the market drives the price, and we are comfortable at this level of price.
I'm sure you are at $100 a barrel. You must be very comfortable.
We are.
You're sitting on a fortune.
We are comfortable, but we are also making sure it does not go higher. We're pushing so much into it with our colleagues in OPEC and OPEC, trying to make sure it's maintained at least.